We're sailing the dead of the night. We're sailing all through the day. We're sailing. The cause of our plight is a one they call Pelican Jack. Well, a man he stood near 8 foot 2, 305-inch wingspan. Gangway to the Mac, they call Pelican Jack. Gangway now, men, yo. And we're sailing the dead of the night. We're sailing all through the day. We're sailing. The cause of our plight is a one they call Pelican Jack. The winds were blowing in the doldrums, lost at sea. Now the jibes were flying, you see. But Jack was strapped, let lovers get whacked on the deck. There's enough room to swing a cat. And we're sailing the dead of the night. We're sailing all through the day. We're sailing.
Yo, what just happened in your kitchen?
Welcome back to the Pelican Jack podcast. My name's Devin Watkins. With me, as always, my beautiful co-host.
Ooh, Alex Ortiz. All right. Let's talk shit and get lit, baby.
Let's do it. With us this week, we got Jordan Carson again. You remember him from a couple episodes ago, filling in for Alex while he was on vacation in Florida.
This will be actually his third appearance.
Yeah, he's been on a few times.
Again. Hide a man.
Regular, yeah.
Jordan, hide a man.
Let's just go ahead and get into it, man. The reason why we got you here today,
Gamestonk.
let's talk about it.
Yeah,
So let's start from the start, and let's start from the ground up.
Start from the start.
Assume
you had you were actually like involved in it. You had some GameStop, stock there for a
Before it
second.
took over the world.
And you've been
Yeah,
you've been looking, at the market for a little while. You kind of know what's going on. Explain for the layman. Explain to us like we don't know anything. Everything that we need to know to understand what is happening right now.
Okay. Well, the reason it exploded is because institutions have been short. They over-shorted the stock. So, and the way they were able to do that is they.
So what does it mean to overshort the stock?
So there's a percentage of float of shares that you can short, and they've shorted over 100% of those shares.
Oh, so what does it mean to short it?
So they can buy puts. They're buying options that the stock will go down. And a lot of times what they'll do is institutions will run like what they call like a short ladder. So they'll get together and organize to just short companies, and they'll send out like 1,000 flows of orders, and it will drive the price down. And then they'll have an analyst come on or someone come on on CNBC or Twitter and say, that the stock's going down, trying like incite fear, and so basically they're like creating what looks like selling, and the price is going down, and then they try and go on TV and incite fear and create real selling, and drive the price down.
Okay.
And then once they cover that price, and they make money because the stock went down. So basically, it's like they're saying an agreement that the stock's going to go to this price, and if it goes to that or below, then they cover and they make money for it.
I see.
And they do it all the time with a bunch of companies. And that's the big thing. That's the main thing that's come out of this that I'm kind of happy of, is that people know that this is going on. So now you've been seeing this week like a bunch of cryptos have gone up because you can't short it.
And what's a crypto?
Any kind of like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin.
And what are those really? Like how is that
It's
real
a
from like the
blockchain.
U.S. dollar?
How is it real? Like it's not tied. It's decentralized, so it's not tied to any government or like stuff. So if someone else fucks up their economy, some country, it's not tied to any assets. Like basically, it's supposed to be like gold or silver, or holding any kind of stuff like that.
What gives it its value?
People, like the amount of people that hold it. It's kind of like gold and.
It's just like
So yeah, they
like an agreement.
So you put money in, and you're basically it's like the gold standard.
Yeah, you're back.
And the more gold you put in it, the higher value that dollar or whatever cryptocurrency.
And then there's
is.
like a certain amount that's available altogether. Yeah. But there's some other stuff that's going on. I don't really know as much about it, because we have like monetary policy where we're printing money, and but that's also happening apparently in Bitcoin too. So like it's called like tether printing, where they create like tether dollars, and you can buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with tether, and then you can sell it for real money. You can sell Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in exchange for like real dollars. So I don't know like the big deal about that, but there's a lot of people who believe like it's being like the price of it is already being inflated by people creating tether and buying more Bitcoin with it. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I need to look more into it, but basically, there's a lot of people who believe that it's highly inflated. Just like our market, our asset prices are highly inflated. They believe the same things happen in Bitcoin. So it's like already we're inflating asset prices, and then it's like extra inflation on top of that
Okay.
in these cryptocurrencies.
And so back to the GameStop instance. So these hedge funds, they made a lot of short option purchases or whatever.
Yeah.
Possessions.
What is it that the hedge fund does?
I mean, bunch of them do different stuff. So, but most of the time they're just collecting like people just invest into it, and then they're just buying different positions. There's like an investment firm, like people are just putting their money with them, and they're investing.
saying,
in it.
"Here,
And so
you do it."
they
Yeah.
manage the account,
manage-
and
yeah.
people just give it to them. The
Yep.
giant multi.
And they manage pensions, like, and so that's the thing that Citadel and Melvin Capital, like, it's made, like, people think they're taking out billionaires, but they're taking out like people's pensions and stuff too, because a lot of people's pensions are comprised of Melvin Capital, and so basically, you know, they like gambled all these people's fucking pensions and retirement funds short in fucking GameStop. It's a little game they've been playing with.
So I
stocks
think
for a long
that's the
time.
bigger problem, that these people are gambling with people's pensions. Not that they shouldn't. They should be able to manage people's pensions, but when
Oh,
it
yeah.
comes to pension, there's got to be a separate than somebody just investing in the stock market with you.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So-
and I mean the whole thing is like, I don't know. I don't feel like it should be allowed. Like, why are you shorting these companies? Why are you like wanting to see companies fail? Like, I
Because
understand
they're creating the situation for that company's stock to fail. So
Yeah.
they set that position that we want
They're
this to
investing in
fail.
this company
Then they
failing.
send somebody on national TV talking about how the stock's going down and that it might be a good time to get out now. So
Yeah.
then people actually start selling.
Yep.
And then so they're literally manipulating the market that way.
Oh yeah, they've been doing it a lot. And then this week you got to see it all play out, and you got to find out everything. that
Yeah.
they've been doing.
No holds barred with the manipulation either.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how the whole thing started. The guy who even did y'all read the one article I sent you? The guy who basically like it's all started off of on
Yeah,
Reddit.
so talk about like the little Reddit group that really actually kicked it off. So this company already had this huge position on the short
They've been
of
adding to
the
it, yeah.
GameStop.
Yeah, so a bunch of companies have been betting on it to go bankrupt. So they basically almost been betting on zero since the company's been at like $4 or $5. And then once Wall Street Bets on Reddit got a hold of it, so in 2019, the guy, Deep Fucking Value on Reddit is his name, and he wrote a post talking about why he was investing in GameStop and how it was a great value play. He said it was just like very over. That's why he bought into it. He didn't really know about the massive short position. He just knew that people were writing the stock off, you know, that the company was going to go bankrupt. He saw it as like them having better opportunity. Like it wasn't just this brick and mortar mall retail chain that was going to go bankrupt. He saw potential in it. So that's why he bought it. He's been holding it since 2019. And then people made a post over the summertime, and it was showing a correlation of the chart of GameStop stock every time they went through a console cycle. And it was like, it would trend down, and then the release of like PS3 came out, and it would and it would go back up. And it would trend down going into PS4, and it went up. But then this time, going into PS5, like it trended down, the PS5 came out, and it just kept going down. And so that was like short interest, shorts building on of it, like artificially driving down the price of the stock. And a guy saw this and said, you know, basically if you just buy and you can squeeze out. And it kind of like started then, but people didn't grab onto it. And then Ryan Cohen took over the company, and people started to get interest in it. And they're like, oh, Ryan Cohen's going to try and, you know, like change GameStop. He's trying to create it into like almost like the Amazon of video games.
And Ryan Cohen was interesting because he is the CEO
Founder
of Chewy.
Yeah. he was founder of Chewy, created it, and he said one of his biggest like regrets was selling Chewy too early to PetSmart. He was like, I should have done more with it. He was like, I should have way more money. So his idea was he's going to come in and change this company. And that was his idea. He wanted to go more e-commerce. He said they weren't doing enough like brick and mortar, like selling enough stuff like physical. He wanted to bring back more physical items into the store.
The new consoles being geared,
Yep.
the cheaper versions are geared digital only.
Yep.
That's going to put the brick and mortar in a sticky situation.
And he's made some good deals
time to
with
adjust.
companies. I'm sure the other ones will come around. He made the deal with Microsoft to where if you buy the Xbox, they have like the all access pass. Like Microsoft gives them like a percentage of everybody that signs up at GameStop for like the bundle. The Xbox bundle that comes with like 2 years of Xbox Live and stuff. And so when that deal came out, the price on GameStop went up even more. And then people started to like hold on to it and say like, because they already noticed like there was a massive short interest on it. And they were saying, we could squeeze these people. And that's when it really, people started kind of pile on like into November, December. And then it kind of died out. They had Q4 earnings and it wasn't good, and the stock dived. And I was kind of talking shit about it then. I was like, talking to my buddy, I was like, oh man, everybody on that GameStop, look at how that's fucking going now. Like, it went down like $6 that day after earnings. I was like, oh, that GameStop fucking shit didn't go well, huh? And then the guy who's running the hedge fund, Melvin Capital, he came on Twitter and wrote, I just went on WSB and I found my next short, and it's GameStop. And so people saw that shit, posted it on Reddit, and WSB just like grabbed onto it. It's basically like, fuck this guy, buy GameStop. And since then, people just been buying it.
And so far at this point, nothing really, definitely nothing illegal, but not even anything nefarious within the bounds of legality. Nothing nefarious at this point.
Well, no, because all these people do the same thing. They get together, except they do it behind closed doors.
Yeah, we can debate the morality of being able to do it in the first place, but as far as the laws go, they're all playing within the rules.
Yeah.
The people who shorted it are playing within the rules, and the Reddit guys who are deciding to invest in this company, right? Because they're not inside. It's not insider trading because they're not inside the company. It's the same thing as people grouping together and starting a business or to invest in a business. Well, hey, look at what's going on. We think this is a good investment. Let's all put our money into this and see what we can do. That's literally that's what the stock market is, and it's a gamble.
Yeah, and all these hedge funds do that anyways. Like, they get in back room deals all the time. They'll go and meet together and have a dinner party, and say we're either gonna.
That's real insider work, though.
Yeah, and that's. So they already know the ins and outs, and that's billions of dollars. Yeah. And they'll get together and manipulate the whole market. They'll say we're going to get together and all short this stock, or we're going to all get together and buy this stock, and we'll get an analyst to come out and either set a higher price target or lower price target, or pay someone like this guy Andrew Left from Citron, who does like short research, and he tries to find like just companies to short. That he believes are overvalued, and he's been doing it all year, and he's been going online and writing about these and saying like Citron just went short this company, and the company will just start bleeding right immediately.
So he literally got cocky with like creating this, buying the short position, and the fact that he's saying something makes it happen.
Yeah, and so the hedge funds knew that they were getting squeezed, and so and maybe like 3 weeks ago it kind of started. Ryan Cohen took over the board of directors, and a bunch of people on WSB just started like pouring into the stock. And then literally the next day after he took over and got onto the board, it doubled. And it went from 19 to like 38. It went like 40, and then came back and settled around like 31. And then by the end of the week, it was at like 36, 37. And then, so people started piling. That's when they started to realize like, all right, this is real. The short squeeze keep happening. They're like the hedge funds are over 100% short the company. If we just keep buying and holding, the price will go up, and they'll have to cover. So when they don't meet the price that they set for it to go down to, and all these have like expiration dates pretty much. So when it gets to that date and you haven't, and it's not to that price and you haven't covered, you have to buy shares at that price that it's at to cover your options. So they're having to buy shares at this highly inflated price, like millions of shares, and that's what's really squeezing it up. And so everybody just started piling. The whole next week, that was like the top, like.
But there's definitely on the people buying the shares, there's definitely there's a contingent of people who are like, saw what was happening. Oh, we can squeeze these motherfuckers who are always winning on us. Fuck it.
Yeah.
There's definitely that like revenge aspect.
Yeah. I almost got lost in that when I had it and was like, fuck them. And then I had to step back and be like, nah, I got in this to make money. I hopped on this trade to make money. So I'm going to hop out of it. Plus they were just, I could tell, I was like, this is not going to go well. They're already halting it a bunch. They're manipulating the shit out of the stock to begin with.
But outside of the stock, this is honestly, it's kind of good for GameStop because people are saying the name GameStop over and over and over.
It's amazing for
again.
GameStop, and eventually, what I'm hoping GameStop does is like issue some more shares, sell it. If people are buying it at $300 a share, sell that shit. And I think,
and then
honestly,
boom, you're literally investing in the company, so they can take that money and do something big with the fucking company.
I think Ryan Cohen might have taken over because he knew. Like
just his name being attached.
Yeah, because his name being attached. He might have known the short interest. He might have known that if enough people bought this and squeezed out shorts, that he could change the company through the stock.
Yeah.
You know? Because the stock goes up so much, the company becomes so much more valuable. He can turn GameStop, without having to use his money.
So when they go to the bank, like, hey, we're getting ready to launch this initiative. They're like, hey, our stock is valued at this price. Like what I'm saying.
Yeah. They can just issue shares and retail will buy it right now because everybody's trying to buy it. They'll issue. I think one of the problems so the reason why Robinhood ended up limiting the shares and not allowing.
Oh yeah, so we haven't even gotten to that part yet. So all of a sudden it kind of hits like this little fever pitch where everybody's going hard on buying it. It's really spiking all of a sudden.
Yeah. So
and then, but up until this point, nothing is technically nefarious or illegal. But then,
on which end? I mean, I guess it's not illegal, but like it should be. I feel like that's the conversation. Like what?
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to argue the morality of the laws as they are.
Yeah.
But within the framework of what is allowed to happen, nothing so far is technically legal. But I feel like this next part is where it goes like above and beyond, where it's like not even covert manipulation, but overt manipulation of what's going on.
Oh, yeah, and you got to watch it, like see how they manipulate.
So this is starting to go crazy up, and so the people who shorted are losing. Then these app companies, what all of a sudden these apps, what happens?
All right, so it's driving up. The thing is, Citadel, who is investing in Melvin Capital, who's getting hedge fund that's losing billions of dollars, so like having to liquidate billions of dollars of long assets to cover their position in GameStop. They own an exchange, and so like the shares get front running. Like when you buy something on Robinhood, it goes through, it has to be sold through an exchange. So they basically these companies, exchanges buy it. Like they want it to go through them. They want the order to go through them. So they pay Robinhood for all their orders to come through them. So
they've got to basically, you sign up for Robinhood, and the contract is Robinhood like links you through them to purchase or whatever.
Yeah, yep. So they're like the Robinhood's main customer essentially. Citadel is Robinhood's main
So what's
customer.
crazy is Robinhood is supposed to be the app that like gets away from the big companies for the little guy to get in there and
free,
do
no commissions. But that's how they give you free. That's how you don't pay commissions on your trades, is because these other companies are buying to fill your orders, and so they get all your trade information. So basically, they're knowing what the trade is.
So they're selling your data of what you're doing.
Yeah. So all these companies are seeing, oh, this is what they're buying. This is what they're selling.
Yeah, so they can gather trends.
And they all have algorithms that and machines that are tracking all this data, and they just scalp all day. When it goes up, they just take it off, and it starts coming down. People get scared, they sell, and then they'll pick it back up.
So basically, a bunch of these apps that are linked with the hedge fund and the Citadel. These like with
They're
Robinhood
losing
specifically, they stopped the ability of being able to purchase GameStop through the app.
So what happened is the clearinghouses made the margin requirement to buy shares 100%. Usually it's something low, like so when people buy when they're selling shares, when people are filling their orders and stuff, like a percentage of that is goes on margin. So like the company that is filling the order and then sending it through, like Robinhood, they have to pay a percentage on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, so the margin, usually it's something really low, like 2% or something. So, it's fine. But all these clearinghouses raised the margin requirement to 100%. So if you bought a share for $300, they were going to have to pay $600. They'll get they get it back, the interest that they pay, but it's like not until like it goes through, and it's like days later. But they were like, no, we can't. Like they couldn't afford to pay 100%.
Robinhood couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the problem. Like they didn't have the money. Like if people were filling these orders, when people were buying these orders,
they had to put the order through these other companies, and so basically these other companies just raised the stakes on just being able to put the order in. So forced Robinhood and these other apps
to take it off because they couldn't afford it.
Wow.
And so Citadel owns a lot of these exchanges. They're the ones that raised the margin, and they basically like forced all these other places to take it off. They're like, we're losing billions of dollars. Like, we're gonna have to force y'all to take this shit down because people are just gonna keep buying it.
But that kind of that destroys the whole spirit of like the free market. Like what I'm saying? That's what's so crazy. It's like your dollar is supposed to like has nothing to do with race or anything. This is the free market. You put your dollar in and see what happens.
No.
Damn.
They're the house.
Because that
it's like
essentially the stock market is like almost like the last bastion of like American freedom. That's not you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where you can get in, nobody looks at you. It's just all money based.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I've kind of been telling people. I'm like, you can get into it, you know what I'm saying? Like if you feel like, people look at you a certain way when you're trying to get a job, like no one looks at you, no one knows who you are. It's all money based here. But I mean, it's all super manipulated. Now you get to come out and see the ins and outs, the workings of what these companies do.
So maybe some good that'll come out of all of this they'll start properly regulating this shit.
Maybe they'll just like get rid of short selling, honestly.
Okay, so what will they actually do? Knowing that all these companies are so tied into lobbyists and political groups.
I don't know, because it's really deep tied because all these people are tied into the like financial institution in America. Like GameStop could destroy the whole economy because these institutions own so much stuff, and they're billions of dollars short this company, and they're having to find this money in other areas, so they're having to liquidate a lot of assets.
Is that not capitalism?
Yeah.
You fuck up and you got to eat it sometimes, right?
Yeah, but
because that's what happens to small businesses.
I mean, that's what this is,
or small people. When you fuck up, you lose all your money, right?
Yeah, basically this is kind of like what happened in 2008, except it's not like it happened with the housing market. It's just like it's happening again. Like we've been inflating prices for a long time.
But at least the housing market had a more viable thing. Like they were giving people actual loans for houses that they weren't qualified for in the first place. And then there was all this extra, like the way they were packaging it together and selling it off.
Well, that's kind of the thing that they've been doing now too. They sell shorts to each other. And gain margin on it. That's how it just like keeps going down. That's how you're able to short over 100% because on margin they just keep swapping it between each other.
Damn. And they're just putting in money and then just bringing in tons and tons of extra money in.
Yeah. Yep. But now,
and then so really we're not even being properly taxed. Like capital gains tax, like money it's not actually doing a job. So like it should. I understand the idea behind a capital gains tax and how it should be enforced properly.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be a weird week. Like they're like people are in like both sides of the argument. Like I think they might have like like short interest might have went down on Thursday when they shut down the buying of the stock. And the stock like screamed up, and then they
So
halted.
less people are going to be interested in shorting companies?
And
In general, is that what you're saying? Short interest?
Short
on
interest
GameStop
was, I just mean
specifically.
like the percentage, like how large the interest, how much it was being shorted. I feel like it went down, like the percentage might have went down. But like some people are saying the float's the same, or that they shorted it more. But I feel like what they did on Thursday was they told everyone they're basically like not allowing the buying, and they let the stock run, and then they halted it and they shorted it at the top. And then everybody panicked, and the only thing people were allowed to do was sell.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they probably made a killing.
Enough people sold to where they could, at least cut the loss to a minimum.
Mitigate it.
Yeah.
They mitigated it for sure this week a couple of times, especially Thursday. They let it run up, and then they halted it, and they shorted the top, and then when they unhalted it, people panicked and started selling it.
Yeah.
And it just drove it down, and they probably made a lot of money on Thursday, shorting the stock again. And then they could have cleared the position, a lot of it, covered. I mean, there's no way for them to like cover all of it. They lost a lot of money.
Damn. So that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's weird how like entrenched everything was, and how like tied these hedge funds are into everything. How like them taking this risk is causing them to for us to like almost to collapse the fucking stock market on itself, because they're having to liquidate so many other assets.
And it's crazy. So like the stock market is basically the casino, right? And you're supposed to be able to come into the casino.
They're the house though.
No, but they're pretending to not be that. Like they're pretending that there is no house. It's free market. They're pretending that it's a free market. But then when shit goes way wrong on their way, all of a sudden, the house that's not supposed to be there comes in there and changes rules and edits things.
Oh yeah.
Like,
it's funny as hell. Like it's been
like
funny as hell.
If you were
watching
on the
rich
blackjack
people
table and you were starting to win millions, and all of a sudden they'd like,
"Are you counting cards?"
Security
That's
comes
exactly
up
how
behind
I thought
you.
about it. I'm like, and that's
what they
how I
did.
explained it to someone. They're like, "Are what people doing on Reddit illegal?" I was like, "Nah, counting cards isn't illegal. It's just frowned upon."
Yeah.
You might just get your ass beat for doing it.
But that's basically what they did. But the idea was supposed to be it was a casino with no house. Like you put in money and what happens happens.
Yeah. But no, there's a house, and they're basically that's what I realized. They're a monopoly on the whole stock market, because they're acting as basically the marketplace, and then they trade in the market as well.
Oh, and they probably have they're probably a reason why, like, so for like media purposes, they're always referring to the stock market as the health of our economy, but really that's just the health of rich people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's not with the regular person. It's
Yeah.
not a direct correlation with how the regular person is living. Like, oh, the stock market's up 100 or 200%.
Yeah.
Regular people's lives aren't up 200%. Their wages aren't up 200%. Their bank accounts aren't up 200%.
Only people at the top that are invested in the stock market. But I mean, here's the thing that their argument is like anybody can get into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what's the point of anybody getting into it when you just manipulate it when it don't go your way?
Exactly.
They fucked it up. Dude, they fucked up. They fucked up harder than they realized. And I know their only advantage is there are a large section of the population that still watch like mainstream media.
They might get
like
bailed
MSNBC and shit. And so they're able to influence it through,
It's
their
crazy
money that they
how
have
all
in
these
the media.
mainstream media companies come out and just defend the hedge funds. Like CNBC, I was watching.
Because they're all the elites.
Kramer.
They're all the elites.
See Kramer growing nuts.
Yeah.
Prove your point. Sell.
He's like, you should sell. Y'all won already. You hit a home run, which that's how I felt. I was like, all right, boy, I'm out of here. Like,
I mean, you could collect a check.
Yeah, I'm like,
for the first ones to get out.
It's like, why let it all be paper gains? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what I've learned. I'm like, people that do this shit, they take profits. Not just like, like when you get. That's what I told my mom. I was like, I went up 300% in a week over. I was like, I'm a retard if I don't sell. Like, y'all want to hold for something. Y'all want to fight Melvin Capital. I'm like, take their money. Like, it's already out there too. Everybody already knows. So now, like AOC, all these senators are all coming out against them. which I think is kind of like
that's bullshit. Yeah. That's manipulating the market.
They're all coming out against them. I want to see what she had to say. She did a Twitch stream with Chamath. He's one of the smartest people. I've been following him.
She sure does do a lot in defending people who aren't her constituency these days. Like, her constituency needs health care, and she won't fight for that. But she'll make tweets and do posts and do live streams about motherfuckers taking money from rich people.
Now she's like, tax the rich. This is so unfair. They're doing this to the people. So this shouldn't be allowed. They're gonna come. Congress is set. They're gonna. I feel like they're about to come after hedge funds and institutions. But they kind of don't have a choice. Like, these people left them with no choice. They're gonna have to regulate some things. There's gonna be some regulation changes for sure. I feel like the stock market is not gonna be the rocket that it has been here. You know, I feel like there's gonna be some changes. There might be some taxation on some trades.
Yeah. So tell me about capital gains tax.
Fuck capital gains tax. Motherfuckers coming from my pockets.
That's the latest headline. Is they're talking about all the poor people getting into this on Reddit right now, discovering that there's a tax that they gotta pay.
Yeah, so if you sell within a 12-month time period, Uncle Sam gets 40% of that shit.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So like when I'm like, I made $5,000 this week. I made $3. I made $3. But I'm gonna say I made $5. I'm giving them pre-tax number.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, they hadn't taxed me yet, you know what I'm saying? That's next year.
That's right.
The good news is, if I lose it all between now and then, I gotta pay it.
Is that so?
If you lose money, yeah. Okay. You can write it off on your taxes.
Your glass, right? You need to top off that?
Yeah. Because that was one of the things that was going on WSB that was hilarious this year. People talking about taxes, and they were telling people, like, at the end of the year, a guy was like, he made like $1 million. He was like, I could pay 40% in taxes, like, or I could just lose it all and not pay any of it. He's like, I might just lose it all. Just fuck you. I'm not paying taxes.
Damn.
And I mean, companies do that. So they'll at the end of the year, like, if they have some losers, they'll sell that shit and write it off as a loss to help them on their taxes and stuff.
Okay.
For like long term, because most people are trying to hold long term because it's only 20%. So if you hold over a year and you sell, your tax is 20%. But if you sell within 12 months, it's 40%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're getting reamed. Yeah, you sell within a year of anything. And you got to think about that. But then I'll be just like weighing it out. I'm like, well, it's like I hold it for a year. But this was not something I was ever planning on holding. I was like, I'm getting taxed on it, but whatever, you know. It's not...
Take that little bit of cut.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. All right, so
where does that leave us today?
Right now?
That's January 30th, Saturday. Markets are closed for the week, right?
Yeah. The talk right now is that they closed over 320, 325. I don't know about all this shit, like how Gamma Squeeze works and all the call options that were bought this week expired in the money. I don't understand.
You just said a bunch of words that I don't even...
Yeah.
What the fuck is this nigga talking about?
I was like... I haven't slowed him down since the beginning, I don't think. So.
I was like, yeah.
I was like, you know what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a chimpanzee watching this shit. Like, when people are asking me to describe, I'm like, bro, I don't know. I was like, I knew this shit was going up and that they were getting squeezed. Like, I understand the base version of it. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I know enough to make some intuitions, but I don't know enough to like tell you how and what I'm doing exactly.
I was like, look, here's what I knew. Gamestonk go up. and everybody was buying it. So I was like, everybody's buying it. There's only one place for this motherfucker to go. And they hadn't really started yet. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get in. And then it ripped. And then they fucking halted it on Monday. They just let it run on Monday. Everybody knew it was getting in. And then people just FOMO'd in. It went to like, it opened at like 80 something and just like hung out. And then it just started going. And then people chased at the top, like 130, 140, 150. There was literally someone post who's like, can I get a thread for like literally buying the top? And it was like, he bought like 50 shares at 155. And they literally halted it like seconds later at like 158. And then as soon as it came out of halt, boom, 100. And then they halted it again, boom, 60. And I was just like, I'm watching it like,
that whole like pull it out.
Bro, the Monday morning I opened my phone, I'm like, let's see what's going on. It was up like double from where I had bought it. I paid like $47 a share. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good day. It started fucking running. I'm in my kitchen like dancing. I'm like, I made it. This bitch is going to 500. I was like, I'm gonna make fucking 10 grand off GameStop. And they fucking halted it. It fucking tanked. I'm just watching it just like laid in fucking like dead bug pose on the ground, just like, my money. And then I fucking got scared. I sold it like 70 something. I ended up making like $400. I'm just like laying in the room like, oh my God, I just watched like $2,500 turn to $400 in 15 minutes. Like, damn. I hate y'all. And then it kind of like settled out and I just got FOMO really bad at the end of the day on Monday. And I was just like, it's gonna fucking go. This is everything they had to try and take it down Monday. I was like, I'm just not gonna buy that much. I'm just gonna buy 10 shares. And then it was up Monday and it just kept ripping. And then I saw Monday morning, Chamath. I'm not gonna say his last name because I'll fuck that shit up. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his last name, but respect. He's basically like a individual investor. He worked for Facebook a long time ago, and now he just makes like private investments and tries and take like different companies public and stuff. And he was big on Tesla, and he was big on Bitcoin. He's made billions of dollars as a private investor essentially. Okay. But he's a really smart guy, and I just follow. That's my main thing is to just find really smart people that are like straight shooters, not these Wall Street guys. You know,
hard to find.
Yeah, and just like follow them. You know, if you listen to smart people, usually it ends up going well. And so he on Monday night he posted about it. He posted on Twitter. He's like, if anybody tells me what trade to make and convinces me why, I'll throw a couple $100K at it tomorrow morning. And I can't remember if it was like the guy who created Reddit or it was the guy who created some social media page, and he posted on it. He wrote him. He was like, I'll be buying GameStop, he was like, the move is GameStop. I'll be here for it. And so that next morning, Tuesday morning, Chamath bought a bunch of call options. So it's basically like the opposite of short. It's expecting that the price will go up. Mm-hmm. So it was at like 80 something that morning, and so he bought a bunch.
So the short and so they were gambling. So he gambled hard the other way.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, he knew. Mm. He already knew that everybody was in on it, and that the short squeeze was happening. And he's been on Reddit reading about it, and he was like, all right, this is a good probability, and it actually helped the price go up. Because call options can drive the price up just like shorts can bring it down. Mm-hmm. And so he bought a bunch of call options that morning. He bought like February 115 calls, which is expecting the price to be over $115 by February 19th. Mm. And so it was like 80 something that morning. And then he posted about it on Twitter. He was like, just bought 50 February 115 Cs. Let's go. Mm. And then it just fucking everybody. Well, I saw that Twitter post and I was like, I'm about to make fucking money. I knew it. I was sending it to everybody. I was like, bro, Chamath is on. It's going. It's a Chamath effect, and it just ripped.
So that's almost like market manipulation as well. That's crazy. Right? Once you garner that much,
yep.
It's not necessarily inside because it's completely public. Uh-huh. and anybody could have access to this information.
Too is on Reddit. He's like, y'all are being mad calling this insider trading or some stuff. He's like, they're doing it on an open forum. You can go and watch and listen and do it. He's like,
there's nothing private about this.
Everybody.
There's nothing behind closed doors at all.
He was like, y'all are so dumb that you told people what you were going to do, and these people went online and organized together against y'all, and y'all could have watched them do it online and gotten out.
They didn't hide.
Your ego is too fucking big. You doubled down. And guess what? They got a bunch of other people to just double, triple down on top of that shit too.
Motherfuckers.
And then that was my favorite part. When I woke up Tuesday, I was like, oh my God, there's nothing I love more than seeing like billionaires get in like petty little fights with each other. I was like, billionaires are in a pissing contest over GameStop, dude. I'm in the middle of it.
And they were going on the major news networks crying and bitching up a storm and shit too.
Yeah, and Chamath's going on there like, fuck them. I don't care what happens to them. I hope they get wiped out.
You're allowed to have that opinion, and I appreciate it here on the Pelican Jack podcast.
Like, they could get fucking wiped out. I don't care.
Would it be the best thing for everyone?
Probably not.
Yeah. Shit happens.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're talking about the free market, sometimes you fuck up and shit don't go,
I know, but they're so tied into everything. It's like they could bring down the whole fucking economy.
Hey, you're the guys who brought down the whole economy. You go to jail.
Hey, you want to know what's funny? You
want
to know what's super funny and ironic?
We start over with people who make better decisions.
One of the guys who's like CIO or CEO over at Citadel. He was the same guy who was like, what was he? He was like the secretary. He had something to do with head of finance, and he worked for the White House during the financial crisis.
Oh yeah, I know. What you're talking
basically
about.
like.
But dang, I do want to segue away from it.
Two collapses.
But the current Treasury Secretary got paid $800K by Citadel.
Yeah, to go and do a little
to do a speaking fees.
YouTube, speaking fees to make a little like
speaking
YouTube
$800,000 to talk. You think that what kind of speech do you think is worth $800,000?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I've heard some pretty good speeches at my high school gym, like motivating us to not do drugs. I heard some pretty good ones. I'm pretty sure that person got like $80.
Or you'll die.
That person got like $85 to do that speech.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll pay you $1 million to save us billions, please. Go tell Joe Biden to shut down GameStop, please.
But that's the thing, though. They're not really paying you to talk. They're paying you because either for future things, or a lot of times they do it for things you already did.
Yeah.
Like boom, presidents, they get out of office. All of a sudden, all these hedge funds and all these
come talk.
Come talk at our plate. $100,000 here, $200,000 there.
Yeah.
Just to give a speech.
Yeah.
I mean, Obama. is a pretty eloquent guy, but I'm not gonna pay any money to hear just a speech.
Oh yeah, you're getting about a quarter.
I might pay like $5-10 to see him talk.
Maybe live, $5 or $10. Okay.
Yeah. Like go to the event.
But this is like a small, like corporate, like maybe 100 people or less that he's speaking to.
But also, this is the thing that ties in. Like, this is how deep all this stuff goes, and this is why people that are in politics shouldn't be allowed to trade on the stock market.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because, like, no matter what, when your money's involved in something, like it just shows like people can't hold a moral compass when like their money is involved, when it's about their pockets.
Well, there's a phrase, I can't remember who said it, but they said if anybody who even wants to be in politics is mediocre and narcissistic.
Yeah. Well, basically, I heard someone else too was like, they're basically like actors that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like you didn't make it as an actor, like go be a politician.
Yeah, and they couldn't sing, so they couldn't do country.
So I'll be a politician.
But I'm going to get up here and I'm going to do my finger like this because we've done the research, and pointing like this is not good ops. But if I do, like, come on now. And if I roll up my sleeves to this, like, it's too scripted.
Yeah. It's just
we keep voting for you and nothing ever goes our way. So what do we do? What are we even really doing here?
Yeah, everybody has their own agendas, and everybody like all of them got portfolios, and all of them are just like looking out for their money.
And then they get rich. Nancy Pelosi is like $100 billionaire or $100 millionaire.
She has so much money. She just recently made a bunch of calls on Tesla and Apple. That's why I bought Tesla yesterday when it dipped so hard. I was like, well, Nancy Pelosi's buying calls and Kathy Wood's buying the stock.
Because Tesla just came out with like a revamped Model S, right?
That was a little while ago, and then they dropped the price. Oh, so you're right. I forgot about that. They are making a new, yep. And the China sales were really good. So they're like,
dude, I want the ugly Tesla truck.
It was pretty good. Yeah,
I want that ugly fucking Cybertruck.
Yeah,
dude, that shit is
obnoxious.
Ugly. It's like ugly, fire as fuck.
Yeah,
dude.
that's why.
Dude. I can't wait to camp in the bed.
Yeah, man, that's the perfect.
Dope.
Like, I'm gonna go. What would be fire is if they start like building solar panels into the roof, so you can like go and camp and just like
that would be sick. All day it's charging battery while you're out doing shit.
Has like the outlets in their bed.
Oh my god,
but I don't think
GMC
wants
has
to do
the
that
nice
because they're gonna be the vehicle and the gas pump. Like, I don't know if they'll end up building solar panels because they want you to come and fucking use that charging station, buy more of their batteries.
But you're not camping all the time.
Station.
Yeah. You got your home charging stations. You're still going to need to go out and charge things as well.
But I think they're working on, what is it, like a 5-minute charge?
Yeah. So that's where the money is going to be in battery patents.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of companies are...
A 5-minute charge? Yeah, I'll go stop at your place and charge my car for 5 minutes.
And the software for their AI is so far ahead.
GMC's going to be...
Everybody... No, you don't have a choice. You're not going to see... It's all going to be all electric. Because they're going to incentivize it.
It only makes sense.
They said.
Yeah, well, so
they're
already doing EV credits, and now they're going to up EV credits. So one of the things Joe Biden was talking about was doing like 15%. They might do higher, but they were talking about like 15% EV... Or no, it was like amount of money, I think. It was like $10,000, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, it was an insane amount of money. That's why I think all these companies
because we're getting to the point already. It's only been like 7 fucking days and we're already getting to the point you're already reneging or your time frames or everything is changing from what you talked about already as it is, and we're only like less than 10 days in.
Bro, the stimulus checks almost like done talk. Like, I haven't been talking
about. They don't have all the cabinet.
That's like not even the earliest is not like March.
Yeah, yep.
Hey, I know you guys were all like dying, and these are supposed to be emergency checks.
You got a down payment. And
they shouldn't even be calling them stimulus checks.
Yeah.
These are supposed to be emergency COVID funds, and that's really the biggest problem here. Is they should have did just a standalone, straight up bill for the checks. $2,000 checks, standalone. Vote it. You want to vote no? Go ahead and vote no. We're going to make public record.
And guess who's not?
And we'll know exactly who doesn't give a fuck about the American people.
Yep.
Well, AOC did slam Ted Cruz.
Hey, they're agreeing together now. They agreed
AOC,
together this week. They're friends now.
No, AOC...
Last I saw,
AOC, man. You know why? Because dude, it's easy to point at Republicans. You know, if we voted for you to call out the fucking Democrats who aren't doing what they're supposed to do, i.e., Nancy Pelosi.
Yep.
Who will never fucking vote for Medicare for all. Like, what do we vote? What is the point of voting for progressive candidates? Who will never fight for a progressive policy.
I think a lot of them are in there to make sure nothing happens.
And they're like, oh, well, we made some backroom deals to get this. And then this comes along and, we got shit on again. Huh. Dude. And they're like, oh, well, you know, she's young. No, that is bullshit. She campaigned on fighting now, not waiting later, and all this other shit. And... she's a grown-ass woman. You can't just get the naive, like, oh, well, we tried.
She does have the glasses now that makes her look, like, older and wiser.
No, that's bullshit.
She's got the, like,
dude,
mistress,
you have to
like,
be able to hold your politicians. Dude, you have to... There has to be...
It looks like Max Cuck.
You have to be able to hold them accountable.
Hold hands. He can't... He's not allowed to touch her.
Now... do you think she gets all leather like Chaps when she does it?
Yeah.
Like the whole get up, like
she's got
she busts through the door.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a whole
good,
setup.
Boy?
He's in the bed already, like tied up, and she just busts in the door. She's like,
yeah. He's got a foxtail butt plug.
Yeah. He's like, oh no.
Boy's ass is red 24/7.
Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Don't come for me, AOC. I love you.
That's funny as fuck.
Damn.
No, but seriously, there's got to be a venue to hold the politicians accountable. Like, hey, we voted for you because you ran on these things. You were going to be the progressive person, and now you're in there and you're not doing it. So what's the deal? Do we need to get somebody else?
Yep. And now we see, like in the red states, they're working on rolling back, like absentee voting and stuff like that, gearing up for the next elections, trying to make sure that their candidates win.
Well, because they knew
instead of making them better, they just make it harder for
exactly because they know that like the harder you make it for minorities and for people who travel, the harder you make it for them to vote, the more likely you're going to win.
Yeah.
So the Republican strategy is the less people vote, the better our odds are of winning.
And Democrats,
essentially,
we want everybody to vote.
Yeah, we want everybody to vote.
Even people that aren't American vote.
We don't even care. We're not going to do anything for you, but we don't hate you.
Yeah, we're trying to create a welfare state.
Hey, what are we gonna do for you? You're crazy. We're not racist. Vote for us. Don't worry about what we're gonna do something for you, stupid. We're just not racist.
Yeah.
And we say they and them when people ask us to.
The fucking cabinet looks like some Chex Mix.
Hey, we got diversity, right? Not
the health
diversity.
secretary is a trans woman.
Yeah. Not diversity of opinion or ideology, just diversity. They all just gonna do whatever we tell them to do, but they're brown now.
Yeah.
Vote for us.
We gave brown people jobs in office.
We gave brown people and gay people jobs, which is fine. But what are we doing with all of this diversity we're bringing in? Is anything changing? Or are we just checking boxes off just to check boxes off?
Yep.
And say we did it.
You know, I like to be optimistic and think that these people are probably capable of the job too. They might not be the very best, but they probably check the boxes and are capable people. We'll see what happens, but
I'm not.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm skeptical. You know why? Because this is just the latest reiteration of them distracting us from the fact that they're not really doing anything major for us that are benefiting us over the last 20, 30 years. This is just the latest strategy to keep us distracted. Hey, look at all these. Kamala Harris. Even though nobody wanted her to be president, she had less than 1% and had to drop out the race. But now she's the vice presidential candidate. We all love her now because she's. What are we talking about?
Yeah. That really turned around quick.
What? Nobody. She had less than 1%, but now she's like the same. Oh my God.
I mean, fucking Tulsi ripped her up.
They checked boxes. She was brown and a woman.
Yep.
And
But
there's
why
a ton
not
of
Tulsi?
people. Well, Tulsi, yeah, but she didn't. Kamala Harris is the type that falls in line with the Democratic Party, the Democratic establishment.
She's been working hand in hand with corporations for a long time.
And Tulsi's a veteran, dude. She checked every possible political box you could fucking ask for.
We'll see more of her.
A woman, a minority, and a veteran. Oh my God, that should be a slam dunk.
Kamala might just be a stepping stone for Tulsi, you know.
Possibly. Tulsi had her shit afterwards that I don't know. It's not looking good for her in a lot of ways. But I agree with a lot of her policies. But I don't even think she's in office right now.
Really?
In Hawaii either, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I mean, who else? They had a political campaign against her. They made her seem like a dude. Oh, these McCarthy smears. Everybody, if you don't agree with the Democratic establishment, it was Russia. It's all Russia's fault.
That's what's crazy.
It's all Russia's
Anytime
fault.
some shit be going bad, like motherfuckers just throw it on to like some foreign thing. Like,
Somebody was on Instagram from Russia, though,
dude,
right?
they did that about GameStop. A guy went on and Jim Cramer was talking about him, and they were talking about it being pumped. He was like, "This could have foreign powers.
Foreign interference.
Yeah, there could be foreign interference, foreign powers." And Jim Cramer's like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? No, it's Wall Street bets. It's a bunch of fucking kids on Reddit. That's who y'all are getting fucking wiped out by." Mm-hmm. He's like, "It could be Russians." China. I'm like, they might pile in on it.
And Russia's doing real shit.
Yeah. Like,
You keeping up with this Evgeny Navalny stuff?
hey, but
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, earlier last year, he was poisoned by probably the KGB because they're the only ones who have access to this kind of old
This is basically
agent called
a nerve agent, and he got it in the middle of a plane flight.
Yeah.
So how do you get a military grade agent inside of your body in the middle of a plane flight?
Bro, they don't even care,
nobody else
dude.
around you got it.
That only the KGB has access
only
to.
Russia does shit, and then it's like doesn't even really cover it up. It's just like, nah, that's not what happened.
It's called a suicide. 3 gunshots.
They have
to the back
a
of the head.
mafia style country.
No, see, that's what people don't understand, and it can happen easy. When they like when they were trying to become a superpower. And they let the whole fucking country go to shit. The only people that had power were the people that had weapons. And the KGB came in and took over everything. They run the fucking country now. They've been running the country since like the fucking 70s and 80s.
And so then they poison this guy. And then he has to go to the hospital. They wanted him to die. He doesn't die. He comes out of the hospital, 6 months later?
Yeah, he's on his way out of the country at the time.
Yeah, he was out of the country.
They kidnapped him, right?
They brought him back in to get medical treatment, and then as he gets out of the hospital, they just arrest him.
No, he came back to the country. I think he was in a Belgian hospital.
Oh.
And he went back to Russia, and they said, if you come back, we're gonna arrest you. And so he went back to get arrested, and while he was in jail, he released a video basically calling Putin out.
I saw the video.
A real thorn in Putin's side. He's like the opposition leader.
Well, yeah. So, and this guy, the reason this is all happening because he's the guy who's like running against Putin in these so-called elections. And so basically, Putin's trying to assassinate him, and then just arrest him and just keep him out of.
Yeah, because they're the KGB.
And that's what happened in the last election. Yeah. He arrested him during the election.
Yeah. And so while he's in prison or in jail, he released this video. His team does, kind of showing like this palace that Putin had built, basically on the country's dime, while everyone's starving and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like, look at this. He's living lavishly, and he's going to be president for. This guy's a dictator.
He lives like a czar.
Yeah.
He's basically like a Russian czar. Mm-hmm. People don't know, like, he might be one of the richest people in the world because we don't know all the assets that he holds. And if you become a real company over there, he just comes in and sees that shit.
Dude, he's literally like a mafia, like...
He is.
Super overlord. Like, he took, like, the idea of mafia and took it to its maximum
And now they own a whole country.
Yeah, where you got the whole fucking country on lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
The mafia owns your country. Bro, y'all remember when COVID first started and all they doctors was falling out of windows?
Mm. I mean, they do have one of the vaccines that's being pushed right now globally.
The doctors try to come out talking about COVID, and they fucking 3 of them fell out of windows.
You know, they're just not building windows the same these days, you know? They just fall right out the motherfucker.
Fall right out of them, man.
Shit.
That Russian infrastructure.
I lean my entire body weight
Devin.
into it. I'll get you. I'm going to get up in a second as well. And get some more. But yeah, because I normally lean my entire body weight into a window, and I expect that thing to hold up. But you know, these Russian standards, and, you know, they're probably not regulating very hard.
It just pops out.
And then you just
right out, man. 3 doctors in a week, man.
Yeah. And you would think these high-paid doctors would be able to afford some good fucking windows, you know? But shit.
I think they would have communicated that, hey, don't lean on the windows.
You know? Yeah, you think their landlord or whoever they bought their mansions from would tell them that they got a...
No, they fell out of hospital windows.
Oh, God. Well,
bro,
you heard it here first, man. Russia's on the up and up right now.
They're on the up and up. They're good.
But Russia is not to blame for all of America's problems.
Hell no.
Please do not fall for that trap, because that is bullshit. Russia had nothing to do with Donald Trump getting elected. You know what contributed more to Donald Trump getting elected than anything?
Boy.
8 years.
Stock market.
8 years of Obama. And what I mean by that is, like, people's lives didn't significantly change. Right? People voted for Obama for hope and for change, right? That was the slogans. Vote for hope, vote for change. And not only did people's lives not get even incrementally better, a lot of people's lives got worse. Why do you think they were if Obama's presidency was that great, why would we vote for Trump right after it? If you thought about it logically and what they did really benefited people's lives, they wouldn't even if you make my life better for my kids, I don't care even if I'm racist. I'm going to go ahead and vote for that N-word. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That N-word's helping me put my kids in college. Yeah, that N-word, you know,
that's how
like
people.
that.
That's what's
if
crazy.
That was really
that's
what
how
happened.
people vote. People vote what they with their pockets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if people's lives would have been significantly changed in any way, shape, or form, they wouldn't have went from such an extreme to an eloquent, intelligent black guy to an idiot who eats McDonald's every day.
To a clown fucking reality TV star host. Yeah, he's just a shitty actor. You know?
I do be liking Obama. I do be liking Obama.
What policy did you like from Obama?
I didn't say I like his policy. I
just
said
likes
I like
Obama.
him.
Oh.
It's easy to like. He's smooth talking.
So I guess.
Yeah.
So when the people say the presidency is just a popularity contest, in a lot of ways, it's true.
I mean, yeah.
I think almost all of it is. I mean,
do we
that's how
expect
you
the guy to
win
be perfect, or do we expect the guy to lead the country for 4 years? He led the country for 4 years.
Well, Trump just did that too. So I would.
Did he?
Yeah. He was the leader, and he made it 4 years.
We didn't collapse.
He led the country for 4 years. It might have not been the way that you want it, right? But
let's not pretend that they were the same
years.
thing, though.
But that was the standard you just set, and they both completed that metric.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the standard should be different, not just I was the president for 4 years.
At least we can get back to like some politics. Like at least countries will like not look at us like a complete joke, maybe. Right now, well, we might have just did it in. They might just be like, "Nah, America is just a joke now."
I feel like, from what I'm seeing, I've been pretty much just been reading the news at work lately.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm seeing, the rest of the world is somewhat hopeful.
Yeah.
Like even China and North Korea are ready to reset.
Yeah, China's
Biden.
real hopeful. They're like, we're about to take over.
Yeah, because China was already good with Biden.
Yeah,
Making
Shit's not so good with Russia right now.
we're about to get. China's like, we're about to become the world power, bro. All these globalists love China. When you hear billionaires talk about China, they love.
Yeah, because they have the cheapest labor.
Cheapest labor, bro. Because everybody falls in line. You know what I'm saying? It's like basically everyone over there is a robot. You know, that's how they look at it. Yeah. Oh no, I understand that. But that's why they're
dying right now pretty quick in China.
Oh, Jack Ma.
All of
you want to talk about that boy Jack Ma?
That
boy disappeared.
There's a bunch of them just going poop. Goodbye.
Dude, because they're all puppets. I was telling my buddy that. I was like, bro, everybody over there is a puppet, bro.
And then when those puppets get a little too big for their britches, and then they can just do shit.
Yep.
See ya.
Because then they saw what happened here. They're like, and then when Jack Ma was talking about the financial system when he was about to the Ant IPO was about to come out in October, and it was going to be the biggest IPO ever. It was going to be like over $30 billion IPO evaluation for an IPO, and Alibaba owned like 30% of it. Their stock was about to go crazy. I was buying Alibaba at the time, and he went on and had a seminar and gave a speech and was talking about the Chinese banking system and how outdated it was, and that it was essentially like a fucking pawn shop. They run the banking system like a pawn shop, and he was like, it's 100 years outdated. He's like, we're gonna change it with fintech, because that's what Ant was. It was a fintech company. They were gonna take over like banking and loans and all this stuff, and change the regulations of banking. And he came on and gave that speech, and then the next day, China pulled the IPO. They just pulled it off, and Jack Ma disappeared for like months. He literally was unseen. He had a reality TV show that he created and was the host of. They pulled him off that shit, and he hadn't been seen for like almost 3 months until recently. That boy's been in the gulag getting his ass whooped, breaking up rocks. He's in the gulag breaking up rocks.
This nigga playing too much Call of Duty. Talk about the gulag.
That boy Jack Ma been in the gulag busting up rocks, boy.
I know.
Winnie the Pooh got his ass. Bro, I love Reddit so much. Like, the memes are so gold. Everybody on there is so stupid. Motherfuckers went on and wrote to like literally like China's Twitter, like CCP Twitter, and we're like Winnie the Pooh, please oh no, it was like, Jack Ma, please apologize to Winnie the Pooh. He's sorry, Jack Ma, let him free. Like, Winnie the Pooh, let Jack Ma free. He's sorry. Apologize. It was like, Jack Ma, please apologize to Supreme Leader Winnie the Pooh.
He hates that Pooh shit.
He He hates it.
I tell you what, we are all out of time for this week, but we will continue with a part 2 for next week.
Yeah, let's recap and see how this plays out this week. If everybody gets burned or if they get rich off GameStop.
Because we still had a lot. We didn't even touch sports.
We got
sports, just
we got
NFL.
entertainment
Lots
news.
going on in the NFL right now.
Nah, y'all boys out there, hold the line. Hold the line, bro. Rob said Winnie the Pooh said if you sell, you're a little bitch.
Catch us on social media at Old Devereaux, at Del Negro 71. Jordan's Jordan. Don't look for him. Don't find him.
Don't find me.
Check out the podcast on Instagram. Was it PJack Pod?
Yeah, I believe so. And on TikTok, we are Pelican JP.
So
on the last TikTok, we got like over 600 views
nice.
and like another 40 some likes.
Fantastic.
Popping.
Keep liking our shit. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you get all those alerts for when the new episodes come out.
Yep.
It's going to be Wednesday mornings. Is that 6 o'clock on Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Okay, on YouTube Wednesday morning, and the audio comes out anywhere you get your podcast for the most part the day before 6 a.m. So Tuesday for the audio and Wednesday for the video.
Yep.
Until next time, guys. Thanks.